All right. Hey, everybody. It's John,
And Ted,
and we're here today. We're talking a little bit about Amazon FBA. And Amazon FBA is one of those things that lots of people would like to get started with because we're seeing lots of people making really good monthly income in it. Some people even six figures per month. And a lot of courses being sold, like the Amazon Selling Machine for $4,000. Almost. It was really close to 4,000. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm just about in cardiac arrest over that too. And I think the other thing about it is a lot of the courses have been, really very underwhelming for a lot of people, Ted. But this is a book that was done by my good friend Dennis Becker, and just want to do a quick little review on it and what we found in it, because I think it could benefit a lot of people. Because the difference between $4,000 and $27 is a pretty big one. Wouldn't you
uh,
agree?
yes, it certainly is, but don't be fooled by the price at all. I mean, so there's a big difference, but Dennis bought it, he went through it, and he's made improvements, and he's shortcutting a lot of the stuff. So, just listen to what John's got to say, and for 27 bucks, make your own mind up, but it should be a no-brainer.
Exactly, and I mean, we all know, Ted. Gosh, you want to order something, maybe not so much in the UK, but especially in the States and Canada. I mean, we want to order something. First place we usually go looking for it is Amazon, and of course, physical products sometimes sell even better than info type products. The non-physical. People like to put their hands on things and see things and touch them, so the tangible often sells better than the non-tangible. But Dennis comes from a background of eBay selling, so I mean he's already got that behind him. He knows how to source products and get things up for sale, and I like the fact that he comes from that background because he really goes through step by step in a really concise methodology of getting products together and really doing things on a shoestring budget, which is huge because most times I think people look at this and they go, gosh, I'm going to really need to have a big budget to get started selling things, and that's really not the case. You can get started with nothing almost, and just really work your way up. Maybe you're not going to sell a couple $1,000s a month your first month, but what if you could make an extra couple $100 a month and work your way up to that? And most people I think kind of forget about the fact that it's a marathon and not a sprint. You got to start slow and work your way up to, doing more and more. But he does a great job of putting it together. Some super checklists there, and I personally think anybody could benefit from. I looked at a lot of the bigger courses myself, and just found, gosh, it was just so complicated to get it in a nice step-by-step methodology. But this way, with it being in a book with some worksheets with it, I just think Dennis has done a spectacular job putting together something that everybody can use to really get started in a very lucrative area of internet marketing and e-commerce.
Now, I was just going to say, John, the biggest secret here when you were talking about, just a couple of $100. Okay, a couple of $100 might not seem a lot, but to some people it is a lot. But the true secret when you earn this money on that is don't go out and spend it. Reinvest. Make that 200, 400 next time. Now, just tell me how many weeks that would take if you could keep doubling it up before you were seeing some real money. You know,
Wouldn't
just
take long.
think about that.
Absolutely wouldn't take long. And
Just invest in yourself. That's what I say.
yeah, and I mean, I personally know a couple people that are making, good five, six-figure monthly incomes on FBA. So I mean, the opportunity there is real, and maybe even more real than some other places. And if you source the right product, you can start by fulfilling the orders yourself, and then work on having, FBA where it's fulfilled by Amazon, and the Amazon fulfills all the orders for you. How much easier could it be than that? They pack it, they ship it, and send it to your end customer. You really just pack one big box and send it to Amazon, and then they ship it, out in a bunch of other pieces. So it's pretty neat. It can really take a lot of save you a lot of time in having to do all of that yourself. Most people would think they'd have to have a giant shipping department and all of these other things, and it's really not the case. So, I found it to be a great read, very straightforward, very easy to follow, just some great resources in it that I think you'd have a hard time digging out of the bigger courses. So, it is just very concise, very to the point, and I think you could get started really quickly. But you know what? What if it took longer? Would that be a killer for paying $27 to get started?
I was just going to say, is there any negative points on where you read through that book that anybody that looked at it that you could think that perhaps that could be improved on?
I think the only negative point I can see to it is that you got to read it. It's a pretty long book. It's like 100 and some pages of information. So, it is a pretty long book. But to be honest with you, I think you could work on starting them piece by piece because it's a checklist. So, I think around like page 30, it tells you how to get signed up for Amazon fulfillment. There are 2 costs for that. You can do a personal account, which is $9.99, or the business account, which is like $40, but you get a month free when you sign up for a business account. So, I've already looked at it. I've been thinking about Amazon selling myself, and especially for Andrea, my wife. And it's a great business to get in, but kind of the ramp up and figuring it out is difficult. Like we say about Hangouts, it's simple but not easy, and I think the same is true here. There's a fairly substantial ramp up to get things figured out, but I think Dennis puts it in a very nice, easy way. And I really think that's because of his experience with eBay selling prior to this, where he was an eBay power seller. It's not too much of a transition to switch over from one type of selling to the other. So I think that's a big benefit for him. And he bought the $4,000 course and really kind of put it in a more concise methodology. So if anything, I think he's simplifying a much more expensive, more difficult course to get through and distilling it into the real information you need to know to get moving.
So, what I'd say is, if you get this, is to just quickly read through it. Don't worry about taking too many things in or that. Just go through it. Then go back to the start and then go step by step. Because at least if you read right the way through, you know the end goal and what you're trying to achieve. Then you can come back and you can take those individual steps to get to that end goal. That's the way I've always found things myself, that when I do things, I'd rather just quickly go through it, see what the end result is, and then come back to it, and then work step by step. So John knows when I'm working on PDFs or anything, the way I just break things down, piece by piece, that anybody can understand, really.
Yeah, I started going through it, Ted, and I just went piece by piece. I'd already, I think I started reading it 2 days ago. I've already signed up for an FBA account. I've got two of the groups that Dennis recommended that I've signed up to get more information to kind of help you through the process. So, it really doesn't take long to get going. You could just really kind of zip through it and just follow along. Do it as you go through reading the book. It's probably the simplest way to put it together. So, anyways, on that note, look in the description. You can get more details about the course underneath the video. I do think it's worthwhile. $27 compared to $4,000. People were hammering on Dennis to sell it for much more than that, but I got to give him credit for really wanting to help it to get it in the hands of people who could really use it.
Yeah. Just one quick question: is there a money-back guarantee? Because you bound people ask that, and if there isn't, for $27, does it matter? But I thought I'd just slip that in and ask.
I can't remember if there is a money-back guarantee. I don't recall.
Well, there we are. I asked the question, but for $27, come on.
Yeah, I know, really. We've spent more than that for a bad dinner, or a movie we didn't like. But I do think there is. I do believe that there is one. Certainly, the sales pages below. Take a look at it. Believe me, in the first 30 pages, there's $27 worth of value. So I really don't think anybody's going to have a hard time with that and the checklists. And I know that over the next couple days here, there's some bonuses, but I know they're being cut off as time goes on. So do take a look. I think it's a book you'll get a lot of benefit from. And if you've been looking at Amazon FBA, I don't think you can go wrong.
And
right.
If you don't like it, get hold of John and tell him you don't like it.
That's true. Not that I'm going to do anything about it, but you can tell me about it. I would like to know. So, anyways, on that note, go give it a look. I think you'll enjoy it, especially if you're looking at that. And have a great day.
Bye now.